A Waddell homeowner paid $56,000 to build a metal building in the back of his property.
Yeah, he said the company had no problem taking all of his cash, but 6 months later, there is no metal building, and the homeowner says the company's owner is now dodging him. So we contacted On Your Side's Gary Harper.
Yeah, that $56,000 was a down payment to get this project started, but it never got off the ground even after 6 months. So exactly what happened to all that money? Maybe the guy who took it can answer that question. Man, lots of little areas around here.
Yeah, it helps keep the animals where you want them.
Yeah, I can see that. Brian Luke and his wife live in a little slice of heaven in a West Valley region known as Waddell. They live on 2 acres where on one part of the property he raises chickens. You got blue eyes. Man, look at you. And in another section, he keeps a horse. But there's still plenty of other room to do what Brian wanted, which was to build a metal shop in this area so he could restore old vehicles like his Ford.
Basically, it's going to start here and go back 70 feet just before that ugly lemon tree. And then it was going to be about 40 feet wide, and it would have an awning about right here.
Brian says he hired a company called Integrity Steel, owned by this guy, Nick Lammers. Brian says he handed over these 2 checks totaling around $56,000 to start his project, but that was 6 long months ago, and as you can see, Nick Lammers hasn't built anything on the property. And according to Brian, communication with Lammers has stopped. Is he returning your phone calls?
No, no one is.
So he has all this money, but he's like a ghost and he's not answering your phone calls.
Exactly, not answering phone calls, not answering texts.
Nick Lammers failed to respond to On Your Side's numerous emails, so we went looking for him and discovered he was in the process of building a sprawling Gilbert home for himself. We knew we were in the right spot because we noticed this new Cadillac Escalade with the license plate Lammers. No one ever answered, but guess who called while we were there? Nick Lammers, who seemed a little surprised that we were asking about Brian Luke and his wife's project that they paid him for. I was calling about the Lukes that live in Waddell, Brian and Kimberly. They paid you $56,000 6 months ago, and there's no shop. Nick Lammers acknowledged the couple did pay him all that money and that he never started building the shop. But he blamed Maricopa County for delaying the project by holding up his permit application. Well, they haven't heard from you, and you have $56,000. It's been 6 months. It just doesn't look really good. Can you understand why they're concerned? Lammers denied that he stopped communicating and told me once I actually have the permit back and I have the A-OK to get going on it, it's actually a fairly quick project. But get this, On Your Side reached out to county officials, which had a much different story. In fact, in this email, they say Lammers applied for a permit on February 9th, 5 months after he accepted those $56,000 in checks. However, the county says Lammers' permit application was incomplete, saying more information is needed. Our planning and zoning department emailed Mr. Lammers on February 9th. We have yet to receive that information from Mr. Lammers, so we are in a bit of a standstill. On Your Side passed that information on to Nick Lammers, but he never responded with any kind of explanation. As for Brian and his wife, they say they have lost all confidence in Nick Lammers and his company, Integrity Steel, and they say they just want their $56,000 back.
It's devastating. I mean, that kind of money is stuff you worked hard for.
By the way, the Arizona Register of Contractors tell On Your Side that they are currently investigating Integrity Steel and its owner. In fact, they just recently issued a citation for abandonment of contract. It's still an ongoing case. I'll let you know what happens in a follow-up report. I'm Gary Harper, On Your Side.